As immigration reform heats up, border security is taking center stage. What you might not know is that our border is safer than ever. In fact, the number of illegal crossings at the U.S.-Mexico border has now hit a 40-year low. Why then is Washington pushing this idea that any immigration legislation must begin with securing an already secure border?
We have more law enforcement officers and agencies than anywhere else. With Homeland Security, with local police and state police, we're very safe in Nogales, and that's the way we feel in Nogales. The Sonora side, it's dropped tremendously comparing to 2010. In 2010, there was 226 murders in Nogales, Sonora, and the last one was 79. So it dropped quite a bit. We have reports that we follow through, and on Part 1 crimes, for instance, in Nogales, Arizona, we've dropped from the past 2 years, first 41%, then we dropped to 12, then we dropped to 19. Part 1 means from homicide to arson. And Part 2 crimes, assault to domestic violence, it's dropped 19% this year. So basically, we're a lot lower than what we were 2 years ago.
It's coming through the southwest border is hot, 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 and unpleasant. Not an easy travel. You have to deal with the cartels. You have to deal with a lot of things. And quite frankly, it's just not a viable option as well with the buildup of the U.S. military. There are no terrorists that are coming through our southwest border. I think that's one of those things that is exists in the minds of neocons and some of these Republicans who are easily excited by this stuff.
So there seems to me to be an irony about the fact the Obama administration is pouring a huge amount of resources into border security, into having personnel along that border. They're deporting a record number of nonviolent criminal aliens, that's what they're calling them, and they're getting no credit for it from the right, and they're getting slammed for it by the left.
In this Gang of Eight plan in the Senate, they give the ultimate decision to the Secretary of Homeland Security as to when we can consider the border secure enough to start moving forward with green cards. So ultimately, I think that they're saying that they can define it. I think that it is good, like you said, it's good for Republicans politically to say we're fighting against the administration on this so that they can say that that's a win and that they got something out of this whole process.
Security-wise, I think they've done as much as you can possibly do. There's some politicians in Arizona north of here that to them securing the border is not allowing anything to come through. Sometimes it even disturbs me that is that also the trade area that they're looking at. Right now, I believe it's as secure as it can be, and to use that component for immigration reform, I think it's going on the other end.
We don't want more of the punitive enforcement. We don't want more border patrol because we have too much. We have done many miles of fencing. We have drones and technology. What we need more of is to actually have the training, the agents be trained more. We need more mechanisms where actually we oversee them, how they are doing their job.
Usually it's not nameless. I've mentioned the governor. I've also mentioned a sheriff, Bellevue, that used to call himself a border sheriff during the campaign for Senator McCain here, which he lives actually about 100 miles north of here. And, that floodgate, I really don't believe that'll happen. You know what happened in '87 during the amnesty program? That was just a big Band-Aid to cover 3 million. You're going to tell me that we're going to close the gates to that opportunity, economic trade with Mexico, our #1 trading partner? It's unbelievable. So what we need to do is improve the relations with Mexico, be able to take that information to Washington and to this Gang of Eight and say, you know what? Let's come down and let's sit down and work at this.